Justin Trudeau just fired back at Trump with a brutal response to his new threat to take over Canada. And you'll want to see what he had to say because after resigning, he isn't holding anything back and you can tell he's fully serious. But Justin Trudeau isn't the only person who has been heavily pushing back against Trump. Canadian MP Charlie Angus also issued a brutal response to Trump after he went on social media and said the United States can no longer suffer the massive trade deficits and subsidies that Canada needs to stay afloat. If Canada merged with the US, there would be no tariffs, taxes would go way down, and they would be totally secure from the threat of the Russian and Chinese ships that are constantly surrounding them. Together, what a great nation it would be. This is very clearly an unhinged tweet, and this prompted Canadian MP Charlie Angus to respond with, "Dear Donald, Canada has something called democracy. It means the leader is accountable to Parliament and can be replaced. I bet Americans wish that they had that now, and convicted sexual abusers don't get to lead our nation. We're decent folk. P.S. Button up. We're sending frigid cold your way. Love, Canada." This is a great response that is yet another example of how members of Canada's government are not happy with Trump threatening Canada, and this is further reiterated by Ontario Premier Doug Ford, who went on Fox News to try to get them to calm down the rhetoric because, in his words, the property's not for sale.
Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, Canada, joins me now. All right, Premier. By the way, I loved your brother. We did an interview. Great guy.
Yeah,
what's your problem with the United States absorbing Canada?
Well, first of all, Jesse, you know, I love the U.S. I love Americans, and I get it. You know, President-elect Trump is a real estate tycoon. He's made billions, but that property's not for sale. As simple as that. But I have a better idea, Jesse. Why don't we create Fortress Amcan and make sure it's the richest, wealthiest, most prosperous jurisdiction in the two countries anywhere in the world. We have the critical minerals, we have the energy, we have the electricity that America needs. And there's only one place I'd want to sell it to, and that's the U.S.
Well, you could sell it to us or we could all own it together, and that's a choice we can all make together. You say this isn't for sale, but everything has a price. The $1 Million Man says that. Can you think of this more as a merger instead of an acquisition? Don't think about being taken over. Think about this as a coming together.
Notice how Doug was being very respectful and polite while still being firm. This is how a conversation like this should be, but Jesse Watters just kept disrespecting him and ignoring everything that he was saying. He even later went on to say that he would consider it a privilege to be taken over by the United States of America if he was a part of a different country.
I get it. You say that Americans don't have a problem with Canadians, and we don't. But it seems like you have a problem with us. Because if I were a citizen of another country and I was a neighbor of the United States, I would consider it a privilege to be taken over by the United States of America. That's what everybody else in the world wants. American citizenship. For some reason, that's repellent to you Canadians. And I find that personally offensive, Premier.
Well, you know something, Jesse? We're proud Canadians, just like there's proud Americans. And if we join together and take on the world with a great trade deal between us, I think that'd be fabulous. No one could stop us.
How self-centered do you have to be to say that kind of thing? I swear, these crazy MAGAs think that America is the center of the universe and that is ruining our relationship with other countries. But this brings us perfectly to Justin Trudeau's new brutal response to Trump's recent threats to take over Canada, because Trudeau said there isn't a snowball's chance in hell that Canada would become part of the United States. Workers and communities in both of our countries benefit from being each other's biggest trading and security partner. You can tell that he isn't holding any punches back with this one, and now that he's stepping down, he's really just speaking his mind, and he is very serious. Even Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the Conservative Party in Canada, spoke out against Trump, saying, "Canada will never be the 51st state, period. We are a great and independent country." So this clearly isn't a right versus left issue. Everyone in Canada universally is against the US taking over. It's insane to me how Trump and these Republicans keep trying to take over Canada and other countries as well, not just Canada by the way, but they are trying to seem strong, but it just makes them look like a bunch of bullies. And I think we all know that the reason that Trump's focusing so hard on this is because he's trying to distract from the fact that he can't keep any of the promises that he made on the campaign trail. He can't lower prices, he can't lower inflation, he can't fix the housing crisis, he can't fix literally anything. So he's trying to distract Americans with these silly antics because that's all he can ever do. Not to mention, when this all blows over, he's just going to blame Canada for him not being able to lower prices. Mark my words, he's going to claim that prices skyrocketed from tariffs because Canada just wouldn't become the 51st state. He's so predictable, it really makes me wonder just how dumb these Trump supporters really are.